dream true. There is no lover and there's none but sin. We summon every childhood ghost we've seen. Then suddenly we hear that mic post.
Welcome to the Official Protocol, everybody. I'm Ethan. I am here with Tom. The show where we did Quadrophenia, but now we're going to do Endless Wire. So that means we're going to go through the Who albums randomly, probably fill out some holes in our Who knowledge, and just talk about the thing we love more than anything else, including Wives and Children, the Who, hopefully. And guess what? We know they're not going to listen to this, so we can say things like that here. I'm really bad at asking people to do this, but I will at the top like, share, and subscribe, especially to the fellow Who nut in your life. I know you have them. So, Tom, how are you?
Doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. I had a lot of fun talking with you about Quadrophenia.
Yep.
So much so that I think the next day, or I was like, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Well, I had so much fun. And it's a thing I know I can talk about. Like, I texted you to see if you just wanted to do the albums, and you said yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think to go from Quadrophenia, which is both our favorite album, to another album that we both enjoy, which maybe not everyone else did, I think it's a good little transition for sure. And
I was going to ask you about this, so I forgot to. I was thinking that we would just make our own little, Fisher Protocol ranker here.
Yeah.
And it'll be really easy to do because Quadrophenia will be at number 1.
Yep.
And then we can judge everything based on where we place Endless Wire and Quadrophenia from here on out.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? It's better than that. After we talk about it and see where it still ranks for you. I don't think much will change. I don't think Quadrophenia is going to move.
No.
You know what I mean? But, Endless Wire will probably go down 1 or 2 as we keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are here today. How do you feel about that? Is that cool?
Yeah, down for it.
Yeah. All right. So we're here today to talk about the 2006 album Endless Wire. And I think it's the one we both chose to do next, simply because for me, it was the first Who album that came out when I was an active Who fan.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the first Who album that came out, I think, probably while I was alive.
Totally. I was alive too. And we both kind of bonded on it. And you said you listened to it like 15 times, or 10 or 15 times, just walking around working.
Yeah.
The past couple weeks. I listened to it twice.
Yeah.
But I could not get the songs out of my head all week.
Oh,
At different times, different ones would pop up. So before we get into the album proper, let's get into, I'm going to show everyone this from my singles box set, because I think you can't tell the story of Endless Wire without talking about Real Good Looking Boy and Old Red Wine. At the time, I was living in Pasadena, Maryland, and it's back when you could get CDs at Best Buy on the Tuesday morning or the Friday. And for Then and Now compilation, I was there for the 2 new Who songs. Real Good Looking Boy and Old Red Wine. They came out before Endless Wire, right?
Yeah. And I remember getting him on some compilation album. And I literally just bought the compilation album just for those 2 songs.
And I was thinking about that. It's a compilation called Then and Now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and a lot of compilation albums aren't worthy of those 2 extra tracks they put on the end. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Normally, they're just songs that get swept under the rug somewhere, or hey, let's throw this out so it's something new. Maybe we can push a couple sales, but I think it's different for these 2 songs for sure.
And before we get into them, the Who Hits 50 had one for their compilation. I understand why they needed a compilation for that tour.
Yeah.
Did they need Be Lucky?
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed the song a little bit, but there was no depth to it.
Yeah, no depth. But there's a lot of depth. I want to talk about Old Red Wine for a second.
Yeah.
Because it basically worked itself out of old school, a riff that they came up with on the tour before, 2004.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you listen to recordings of it at the end, they would go into the very end, the jam part of Old Red Wine. like After We'll Get Fooled Again.
Yeah.
And that's where that came from. And it's a song, obviously, about John Entwistle. And they do mention a lot of the old venues they used to play.
Yeah.
The Billboard, the Cow, the Greek. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's clever. I think John would have hated it. He would have hated that he loved it. I think it's not quirky musically, but the lyrics, play well to it, and I think would have fit John's style. Kind of that off dry humor, I guess. Not that it's a funny song, but just some of the references and how they're made. I think it's a very Quadrophenia style song. You could slip it into the album and it would have made sense, I think. Maybe not lyrically, but just the music, how it's done. Kind of almost with that sea and sand breakdown, towards the end.
And that's the jam part.
Yeah, exactly. And just listening to it with headphones a couple days ago, just the ending, just classic Pete Townsend guitar playing, just the chords and just a clinic on kind of his style. Maybe not so much flamenco kind of stuff, but just the way he plays some of those chords is pretty cool.
And I really like the way the mandolin sound on it.
Oh yeah,
is layered. But I mean, I think the star of the show is Real Good Looking Boy.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's the song. It's the Who song we wanted when we wanted a new Who song, I think.
Yeah, if they could knock out a whole album of Real Good Looking Boys style songs, it would make some noise in the classic rock world for sure. Just it's one of my favorite Who songs, period. Regardless of era or lineup or whoever, it's a great song. It's got some personal reflection. He's, why am I not as good as looking as Elvis? And I want to be Elvis. And I think, whether it's Elvis or somebody else of a different generation, a lot of people can relate to that type of song, or at least the words in the song. Townsend's guitar playing is perfect. Roger crushes at vocals. It just builds up. Just a perfect Who song through and through.
And yeah, I'll get into this some later about him trying to write for the audience so much. But, I can really feel him writing almost because he knows that Roger's going to love this song too.
Yeah.
And the way Roger sings it, and there's that one performance they have of just like Roger on the guitar doing it. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll link it. It's him. I know he was on a Taylor, I think.
That's a great performance.
Yeah. So into Real Good Looking Boy, and that section at the end where Falling in Love with You, when he goes into the Who thing, the Yaggerdang thing, that's going to come up more in our talk, I think, because sometimes it gets used in a good way. Sometimes I think he pushes it sometimes.
Yeah.
And the whole point I wanted to do this CD is because Quadrophenia is a big love fest. I listened to this definitely more critically this time, Endless Wire. But I do remember getting it. Do I remember getting it? I think I remember picking up this first, which was The Wire and Glass, single. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah.
It's a bit underproduced compared to what comes out on the album, and it basically is missing some songs that are on the album. It's basically the version of the songs that you heard live for Wire and Glass, but I just wanted to point that out because that came out before the record, so I had that, was listening to that for a long time first.
Yeah.
First of all, talk to me about the cover of Endless Wire, and I don't know if you thought about it this week at all.
I did. I actually really like the cover album or the album art. It seemed fresh, but it was totally different than anything they had done before. The band was always sort of involved, or this was definitely not that. I mean, you think of all the albums, Who by Numbers or Who's Next or Who Are You? They all, the band's always kind of there. Um, but they kind of got away from it with Endless Wire. But I love the art. I think it's just bright and vibrant, and yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
it looks bright and vibrant. It's got doves, and this album trades on a lot of Tommy imagery,
Yes.
a lot of Tommy themes. It's here in the front with I'll have a picture of Endless Wire up here, but with like the doves and things like that, and this fragmented almost picture of the dots and everything. Out of the later Who albums, and I guess I mean this and Who, right?
Yeah.
I prefer this cover like a lot more.
Oh yeah, way more than Who.
Yeah. Um, cool.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm looking at the album cover again, and yeah, the doves, and yeah, the fragments. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. It ties in really well.
and just so you see, I got this poster I found from Forever Go To single.
Oh wow.
See, it's not enough. Um, First new Who studio album in 24 years. All right, man. Well, okay, so Endless Wire. Here we go. Here's the main complaints I get about this album, because I've only argued on the internet about one or two things before 2020, and I always thought it's not worth it to get in the internet people over fights, and it's not. But I have gotten into arguments about Endless Wire,
Yeah, I'm with you.
especially people that have talked to me about it being better than It's Harder Face Dances. Now, I can admit that I need to re-listen to those albums compared to this album.
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand on that now. But I have gone to endless internet arguments about this. And it's the same old thing. It's not the same band.
Right.
It's a different band. So I just wanted to lay out the main complaint is two complaints. One, Pete Townsend produced it himself. And two, that it's a Townsend solo album that has a guest vocalist sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to want to hear from you as we go kind of song by song.
Yeah.
If we can do that more briskly and quadrophenia as possible.
Yeah. No, I hear you. We can definitely do that. So Fragments.
Yeah.
I remember hearing the first time, I think we both were at the Who in Philadelphia in, what was it, 2006? First show of the tour. Yeah, there you go. That was the first time I ever saw the Who. And then the album wasn't out yet, so we got to hear some of those live, some of the new Who songs live for the first time. And I remember hearing Fragments for the first time and going, oh my God, it's an attempt at Bob O'Reilly, the same kind of style. But it's my favorite song. Not necessarily. It's been it's been a long time since I listened to it with headphones on. The production's great. Backing vocals are really nice. I enjoyed the song. Is it my favorite? Not necessarily, but it's a good one. It's they'll never play it again live, I don't think.
Upon my reaction, my first hearing of the song, I remember really liking it, and listening to it this time, really didn't like it.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it because it was not the album. I'm not thinking when I'm thinking of this album, I'm not thinking of Fragments.
No.
I guess I didn't like the theme of it. It didn't take a stand, I think. I don't know. Are you breathing out or breathing in? I don't really know.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of empty. I don't know. It just doesn't. There's not a lot there.
Yeah, there's not a lot there, and it's almost the age of anxiety of Who songs. And I don't know if you've read Pete Townsend's book, The Age of Anxiety.
Not yet. I have it. I bought it, and then just it got put in a pile. And
I have a pile too. And if you get past page 4, you let me know, because then we could Or if you get to page 4, let me know. I just feel like it's I don't know, but not really big on fragments. Man in a purple dress.
Real quick,
Oh,
I made a little note for fragments. Back in the day, I guess it was 2005 or 6. I guess it was EelPie website.
yeah,
You could like sit for a song. Did you do
yeah.
that?
Sit for a song. I mean, you can pay for a part of it or listen to some of
It
it.
was like you entered information into the website, like your birthday, your
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, eye color or whatever, and that you get like it'd spit out a song for you.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't very good.
I am sure I did it. I don't remember what mine was.
Yeah, I wish there was a way to listen to it again, but um, I always wonder how Pete comes up with these arpeggiated, synth things like fragments. Because I was like, I remember remember thinking like, oh, maybe mine will be, something like that, and not so much.
Yeah, his guru's information always seemed to get the best. So
Yeah, exactly.
get the biggest hits. Meher Baba.
Yeah.
Um.
All right, Man in a Purple Dress.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this song. It's one of my favorites on the album. It's scathing. It pulls no punches. Uh, the whole Catholic Church and all these guys who are, sitting on the thrones of gold and just acting like they're very special, but they're telling you to be humble. And it just, I don't know, it hits the nail on the head, and I think it's a perfect Pete Townsend song.
I agree with 100% of everything you said. I'm not going to retread that. I am going to say that a lot of this album to me is the guitar sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm going to talk more about that on the next song. But he does a couple things here with this SG200 and this open G tuning that are so simple and so effective. I love Man in a Purple Dress.
yeah, it's perfect Pete Townsend.
I'm gonna go right into one of my favorite Who songs of all time.
Yeah,
Period. When I heard this song, I got so excited. It's the Mike Post theme, and Mike Post, he did the television scores of the '80s. As a kid who grew up watching Hill Street Blues and mostly Quantum Leap, he did those theme songs for it. I love this song. I understood exactly what he was talking about with this song. I love the chords of this song. I think it sounds like almost the perfect Who song.
yeah,
And it really gets into the Pete Townsend sound of the later Who.
yeah.
So, real quick, let's just throw this up there. Okay, everyone, the SG is the sound of the Who. I get it. All right. Look, number one sound of the Who, the SG in the 60s or 70s. Starting in 1996, Pete started using Stratocasters. And he put piezo's in those Stratocasters. And his sound has always been, since then, this double acoustic electric sound that I absolutely love.
Yep.
With the suspended chords, which I've always loved. And they're really, really, really on form. It almost sounds like a song that his brother Simon would do.
Yeah.
A lot of it. And there's nothing I don't like about Mike Post's theme. And I really like to point out the third verse that they don't sing live. The Common Law Wife verse is not sung live, but I love it just the same. I'm not going to go on, but I love Mike Post's theme. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. It does embody the Who, through and through. It's kind of like a pop culture reference, with a song, about the song and the Mike Post, all that. The guitar is great. Yeah, and I totally agree with Pete Townsend and the Fender, the Clapton Strat with the Fishman Bridge. That's the sound for me. I think it's tough to beat live at Leeds guitar tone, but the Fender Strat, he's been playing that longer than he was playing the SGs, and it's hard to ignore that being the sound. And this song really highlights that for sure.
And it's the same thing with Zach. I mean, he's not the drummer on this album because famously he was off with Oasis at the time.
Yeah.
But he's been the drummer the longest of the Who's history.
Yeah.
Just like Keith's had the Strat longer, in Who history, modern, Who history. So, not saying anything against Keith Moon.
Yeah.
Dear God, I'm not doing that. I'm just stating some facts. Zach Sarkey's been the drummer for the Who since I've been going to see them.
Yes, exactly.
I could go on forever about, maybe we'll do a whole show just on the guitar tones through the years.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. All right, buddy, I'll let you take this one. I'm very curious. In the ether, this is a big notch in the solo of Pete Townsend column.
Yeah, and this one delves furthest off the path as far as Pete Townsend songs. The vocals, just really interesting, and I think I remember hearing Pete being like, "Hey, I'm a 60-year-old rock star who's been singing and playing forever and ever and ever, and this is this is how I have to sing sometimes, and it's just a different voice that I have, and normally I'll skip it just because of the vocals for the first little bit, but it kind of gets better if you get over that first little hump. I don't know, when I think of the title, maybe not necessarily the lyrics, but I think about kind of like social media nowadays and just Twitter and all that, and just like sending the stuff out into the ether, and just it is what it is, and especially in today's social climate, there's definitely a lot of stuff going out in the ether on my end for sure.
I feel the same, but I think this is like a fungus, but it grows on you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of the songs that was in my head the most this week. People say it's a Tom Waits, style kind of thing. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he was going for something certain. I don't know if it belongs on a Who album.
Yeah.
But it has the number one component to any Who album is it's a song written by Pete Townsend.
Right.
And it's the first time we hear Rock and Rage, which comes back later on Who.
Yeah.
And I like it. It's grown on me. But if I'm doing a super cut of Endless Wire of a short Who album, maybe it doesn't make it. Maybe it's the one that does make it.
Yeah, if I had to cut the album in half, it'd be in that bottom of that first half.
Yeah,
it's a bubble. It's a bubble song for me.
And I will say it is not the song I dislike the most on the album that's coming up.
Agree.
I'll let you start again with a great song, I think, Black Widow Lies.
Yeah, this was definitely one of my favorites. I remember hearing it live. Another like kind of quintessential song, Who song stylistically. I love the story behind it of just these, the Stockholm syndrome kind of like falling in love with your captor kind of thing. And supposedly this is after like some hostage situation in Russia or some sporting event. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I think it was specifically like a girls' school hostage situation.
That's what it was. Yeah. So it's got a great backing, great backing story. It's got a good story behind it. I don't know, very, very Who-like. I'd love it. I think it could have gotten just a little heavier towards the end, but I really do enjoy this song. I listen to this one a lot, and I think it's probably in my. I think I have like a Who like best of playlist somewhere, and it's on there for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's suspended E and D chords, right, and then it goes to B minor G A, which is a standard, rock like all on the Watchtower because the night kind of progression there in the middle.
Yeah.
And I just like the idea of him sitting there watching the news and saying, "This is something I have to write about now." Like, you can see his mind going and working to, well, what is this person thinking? The person that is, getting the Stockholm syndrome, and becoming infected with it.
Yeah, and I think the hostage situation was like 2004 or five, or it's within a short time frame of the album coming out. So, yeah, definitely, I agreed. Pete was watching TV, saw it, and was like, "Oh, that's got to be," that's
And
inspiration struck quickly for him.
Yeah, good song. 2,000 Years. I think it's a great acoustic song.
Yeah.
I think it's a great Pete Townsend solo song with Roger Daltrey singing on it, for sure. It's I like it.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun little song. Does it fit in the album? I don't know. Yeah, I just imagine Pete has 5,000 songs like this sitting in a vault somewhere, and in some finished, some sort of finished fashion. But it's a great one. I really enjoy it. I think it kind of refers to like, are we, waiting for Christ to come back? Is, has he come back? We missed it. That kind of thing. Yeah, great song. Not sure it fits on the album in any sense, and I'm sure if I read the book, it might, might help me out a little bit. But yeah, great song.
Yeah, but it's not the one I think of when I think of Endless Wire either. It's
No.
It always pops up when Terrence like, oh, okay, this is here. Now, one I do think of that I think is brilliant is the God Speaks of Marty Robbins.
Yeah.
It's like an all-time great Pete Townsend song.
Yeah.
If you're asking me. Again, it's a solo Pete Townsend song. If there was one song on the album that's just him on vocals, I think it would be this one. It's the blue, red, and gray of the album.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was actually it's one of my favorites. It's really beautiful. It's about God sleeping before creation, and he kind of wakes up just before the Big Bang, and he wants to create life so he can hear music, specifically Marty Robbins. And I don't think I'd ever thought I'd heard of Marty Robbins before, so I hopped on YouTube and pulled up some stuff. And it's funny, the song El Paso. If you take a listen to that, very similar, kind of like guitar part opens that song. You could see Pete was trying to emulate that sound and piece of music on God Speaks of Marty Robbins. Very similar to El Paso for sure. It's worth checking out. It's not something I thought I was going to do, but then I just kind of got curious about it.
I had seen one of those weird 80s commercials for sets you could buy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They always have these old pictures of him on TV.
Yeah.
It's a weird looking guy with a guitar, right?
Yeah.
Singing El Paso, and it definitely made me feel smarter when the final of Breaking Bad showed up. There was a lot of Marty Roberts references in there. I like it.
Definitely.
We got a song that has a co-writing talent by Rachel Fuller here, and It's Not Enough.
Yeah.
I like the song. I think maybe if it opened up the album instead of Fragments, it'd be a better album. I think, while it's not my favorite on the album, I think it's a good song, and I really like the solo at the end. It's almost sympathy for the devilish solo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is kind of one of the only Rolling Stone songs I'm really into. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
It's just got some punch to it, got some energy to it. I just kind of remember my first playthrough of this album when it came out. I was like, I didn't have any idea what to expect other than what I'd heard live. And the Who in the studio and the Who in concert are way different animals. So I was interested to hear it, and this is just one of those rock and roll Who songs that I was looking for on the album. And it's kind of a nice pick me up before we head into the next part of the album. But the little guitar riffs and fills, Roger's vocals, it's maybe a little overproduced, but I enjoy it a lot.
So after I spoke to Scott from the Who.net, he posted on one of his like blog posts of the day from Pie, and it was a whole story. There's a whole blog post from Pete Townsend, or blog post about someone had leveled accusations of Rachel being a Yoko Ono of the Who, which is something I think he doesn't need to address, but he did.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the situation was with the Beatles, but he makes it very clear that she's the reason that the Who got back together and started touring.
Right.
And why he was inspired to put out new music. And I like the fact that she makes a contribution here and that she's credited with a contribution.
Yeah.
I watch her In the Attic episode. I buy her albums. She's a happy addition. I have nothing bad to say. I follow her on Instagram and Facebook, and she's really into animal rescue, and she's funny, and you can tell she's out there living the rock star lifestyle, and God bless her, man.
Yeah,
I'm great, and for us.
I'm a big fan, and the In the Attic stuff and the In the Attic albums were great, and she's definitely he wouldn't have done classical quadrophenia or classic quadrophenia without her. That was kind of like a gift from her to him. To kind of transcribe that into classical music. I love that she got a credit here, and it kind of reminds me of David Gilmour, and his wife Polly doing some stuff together, and she does a lot of writing for him on some of his solo stuff. So, hey, I'll take a good duo any day when they're writing good stuff.
And did she write On the Island lyrics?
Yeah.
Like okay, cool, you win. Fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You stand well, and I was going to bring that up on the "You Stand by Me." It sounds like it's probably for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in my notes, I literally wrote a song I could play for my wife, and that one hits home definitely. I work a lot. My wife, I work weekends, holidays, and all that, and she sticks by me and supports what I do and all that. So, great song. And, obviously Pete's been through some different things, especially in that time period. But this is definitely a letter, or, a song for her and a song for Roger and, all that stuff. So, good one.
Yeah. And, your wife sticks by you so much, then all of a sudden you say, "Hey, I worked all this time. Now I got to go talk about the Who first thing Monday morning." Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Luckily, she's back to teaching today, so not cutting into our time.
I'm going to use that one for my wife. I've been using that. I've been doing the bargain bridge forever.
Yeah.
101 don't make 2, 101 make 1. It's time to get some new material for me.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, here we go, man. Everyone thinks mini operas are where they're at. A quick one, I think that word opera gets everyone going. So we're here. We're at Wire and Glass.
Yeah.
You want to take it down, not take it down, but go over it one at a time. They're really short, man.
Yeah, they're quick. Sound round, it's all right. It's a good little intro to Wire and Glass. Whoever's playing bass doing a great little Entwistle kind of thing. I can't remember if it's Pino or who ended up doing it, but
or Greg Lake. No, he did real good looking board. I'm not sure. Wait, I have a CD here. You can talk about it while I look it
up. Yeah. Great little song. I enjoy it. Again, just kind of, I remember when the albums get ready to come out. It's like, oh my God, there's going to be a little mini opera. I'm so excited to hear what it's going to be about and how it's going to work out. And it's a fun little intro.
Pino's on Wire and Glass.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good.
It's a good opener. It's a quick opener. I know that they got annoyed halfway through the tour playing it because people get up and go to the bathroom. Pete would always say, "It's short, it's good, enjoy it." Who yells the audience.
Yeah.
Pick Up the Piece is my favorite song in Wire and Glass. One of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah.
I wish it were. I think it's got that chorus. Come on, it's time to pick up the beat. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and I think it's perfectly Tommy-esque type song. Yeah, just it's a fun little song. It's got a nice little transition into the next song. Just the sharp, uh, crystal clear lyrics, and just the vocals are great. I love it. Yeah, really good one.
Now, you were at that first Philadelphia concert, and I remember very clearly them trying to do Unholy Trinity and failing.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I don't think it's a bad song.
Yeah.
Maybe not for a hoop concert.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch to a crowd of 18,000 people. But again,
they're not trying to hear the new stuff anyway, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the whole mini opera, I think it makes sense and it fits well. I just try to treat the whole mini opera as one song, and this is just a nice little song.
So in this whole song that you try to fit the mini opera in, how do you feel about Trilogy's piano?
Not my favorite. I could skip that whole song, and if I just deleted it off the album, I'd be all right.
I feel like this is the main symptom of Pete Townsend being the producer. This kind of thing, he tests his audience patience with something like In the Ether.
Yeah.
And now he just kind of runs it into the ground with a bit of overtrust.
Yeah.
With this thing doesn't belong on a Who album. I don't even think it belongs on something as piano-y as All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes.
Yeah.
It belongs as an extra interlude on a Pete Townsend Broadway mashup thing. If he really wants it to, I don't like the song at all.
Yep, I'm with you there.
We got the second song on the whole album that mentions Ether. Ether's on the brain. We got Endless Wire.
Yeah.
This time in the Ether Man. I like the song.
Yeah. It's decent. It's a little bit of a snoozer for me, and I think maybe a little disappointed that it's like the title track.
I do. Yeah.
I mean, I like the album title, but yeah, this is. If you're pumped, you buy the album and you're like, all right, well, let's listen to the title track, or it should be your strongest song, and it's not for me. But I'm not a record producer and I don't know how to do that, so maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. We'll talk about the name of the next one later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fragments. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just a callback to a song I don't like after so long re-listening.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. When listening, when I did my deep dive, I did with headphones and all that. It's a little better with headphones, just kind of with the mixing and just the voice is kind of moving around a little bit. But normally a skip for me.
We got a hit.
Yeah, I'm upset that it's 1 minute and 18 seconds long.
Yeah,
very old school Who. I mean. It could have been 2 minutes long, it just, if you're going back to those early Who albums, that 2-minute single, that was perfect for it. It could have been a smidge longer, but, good one.
And that's one of the ones they made extended.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I don't really listen to those for some reason. When I listen to the album, I take the extended off.
And it's just personal reflection about tragedy in Cincinnati and all that. It's a good song.
You're probably thinking of They Made My Dreams Come True.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, we're still talking about They Got a Hit, but
I'm just reading my notes, and now you're right.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, I feel like a song of that magnitude should have a little bit more than that than just I don't know. I like the song, but it's kind of I think it's lame too.
Yeah.
I don't skip it, but I'm not into it. And then I'm just going to dive full force into this Tommy nostalgia trip of Mirador.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. It's the longest song on it. He said Doris Day was dead, but she's not. She wasn't at the time.
Yeah.
Now he had to issue an apology to Doris Day. I like it. It's a fun Who riff to play. It's definitely got I can't explain chords all over the place. I know who Dave Van Ronk is now because of the song.
Right.
Right. What do you think of Mirador?
Yeah, this is like you said, nice homage to Tommy. Definitely one of the better songs in the album. I always make sure to listen to it. It just shows that Townsend's got it. I think Tommy and Quadrophenia and even elements of Wire and Glass all have very similar song structure or just process. Pete definitely uses the same process for all of them, just maybe changes the story a little bit and the notes he's playing. But this would definitely fit Tommy era, more so than Quadrophenia. But it's a solid song. It just shows you that Pete can do it. Maybe not on command, but he's pretty good at doing what he does.
And especially when he's trying to write, he knows that this is like I don't know why the name of the album isn't Mirador. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could easily have been Mirador with the same cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I like Mirador. It's the one I played kind of the most when the album came out. Because, it's just those Who chords fall so easily for me. And I work through things as a guitar player, so that's how I like stuff.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
I have a feeling we're going to be mixed. I think there's going to be controversy now.
Probably.
So, Tea in Theater.
Yeah, I love this song. I thought...
That's it. We can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I know. Again, good listen with the headphones on. Definitely listen to it with headphones. There's a bass on there that just is playing super great stuff. I thought it was just a great song for the two guys left in the band, and I think they threw it on the album, and it was they had good intentions, but I don't know if they ever they didn't plan for this to be the closer of their song their shows. I don't know. I think it's well recorded. I love the guitar. I think it's a good one.
And my disagreement comes with I do think they meant for it to be the closing of the shows.
Okay.
I do think it's a manufactured moment in the show. I do always go back to that time in the 30 Years DVD where Pete says there's always a time in Sister Disco where we sit next to each other and say, oh, well, we seem not to get along, but we love each other. We're best friends. And I think this is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think maybe we got genuine more towards the end of the tour, but I definitely think there seems something manufactured about the end of this concert, that song.
It wouldn't surprise me. You hear the rumors and about the rifts between the two guys, and they don't talk to each other, and I'm sure a lot of it's there's a lot of rumors, a lot of truth in rumors and all that, and blah 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 blah. But I think Roger probably sings that song and feels very strongly about it, and wishes that the song was true between the two guys. Roger's definitely the lover, so I don't know, manufactured or not, I still enjoy it. Maybe I'm a cheap sell on it, but it's a good one for me.
I think it's a good way for them not to end on a scream too.
Yeah,
because Roger's getting sick of that. You know what I mean?
And I think also just if anybody's like, well, it's not the Who anymore and all that, like you get to end the show with the Who,
right.
Everybody else is off stage, that kind of thing. So. It probably is manufactured, but I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah, and everything's manufactured in some way. It's just, I think that the love is now there between the guys.
Yeah.
So I don't think that part's manufactured. I just think that putting this Everly Brothers front on at the very end is something that, old rock stars do sometimes, and sometimes they mean it. I think the Who do mean it now. I think right now, more than anything, they wish they were on tour.
Yeah. I saw Pete. He said he was like signing off Instagram for a little while the other day, and I was like, and he's like, it's been nice to like think about that I could be on tour, but I'm actually getting to spend time with family and doing this and being creative and catching my breath and all that. I know Pete hates touring and doing all that, but I'll never not take music from him. Like if he's going out there, that's great. And, I'd love for him just to be invigorated and just plow through some studio albums or something here in the next couple of years. So maybe
I love to get a Pete Townsend solo album, honestly.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. Yeah, man, I think we did it. Endless Wire. All right, let's do the rank. We've talked about Quadrophenia. We talked about Endless Wire.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm going to put Endless Wire under Quadrophenia.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel? Same thing?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'll make a better graphic for that next time.
Yeah.
All right, we get the most exciting part of the show. I think my mind has changed on Endless Wire a little bit. It's gone down a little bit in my estimation. After review.
Yeah.
Are you saying?
I don't know. For me, it's still the first album that came out, my time. And I think there was definitely some excitement. There was some letdown, but there's so many times I listen to a new album from a band I like, and it takes like 6 listens for me to like feel comfortable to get a good representation of what they were trying to do. This one I still enjoy. I still put it on here and there. But there's songs I skip too. So I think the good's really good and the not good is not good for sure.
Right.
It's all right.
So there, everybody, we tried to have some critical thinking here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen here with you.
Sure.
And I don't know who can see what, but can you see that?
I can see that. Yeah.
All right. This is our wheel of what we're going to do next. I've taken some obvious things off here. You ready for me to click it?
Yep. Uh-oh.
Oh man! I thought we were gonna get some early stuff.
Yeah.
We got. The wheel is the wheel.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose. I sent the wheel with the things I needed to listen to more. I guess we're doing all the Later Who stuff first, buddy.
Yeah, knock it out.
Knock it out. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. If anyone's watching, like, share, subscribe. Hopefully, me and Tom will be back in a couple weeks. I think every 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
All right, thanks.
That might post